Good evening, Richmond County, and welcome to your Tuesday edition of Live at 5. I'm Russell Parker, and I'm joined by the Richmond Observer's co-founder, Lance Jenkins, and upcoming author.
Yes, thank you, Russell. Glad to be here. Y'all have a great studio. This is brand new. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's a lot bigger digs than there were when I was here, but really
We've come
nice.
come a long way in the past 2 years now. So Richmond Observer's still growing, but you're also kind of growing in terms of what you're doing now. So tell us about what's coming up for you.
Yeah, so I've got a lifelong goal of mine was to write a novel, and in many ways it's taken a back seat for a very long time. But I've always had in the back of my mind, I want to write a novel. I want to do this. And I would say that on my bucket list of items, I'm sure everybody has a bucket list, right? I'd say this was the number one thing I always wanted to do was to write a novel. And so July 12th, my dream, I guess, will become a reality when a new Requiem is released.
So new Requiem, and tell us a little bit about what it is.
Yeah, so A New Requiem is the story of a longtime choir director and teacher in a fictional town of North Carolina who was arrested and accused of murdering and raping a 17-year-old student who is the son of a prominent family in the community. And it is a story really about how the town, this fictional town in North Carolina called Freedom, don't know if I said that, comes and really convicts him in the court of public opinion immediately. And Dwight is innocent. Dwight's the character that's arrested. And he's innocent, and the reader knows that early on. But the story really is about how we are quick to judge and we're quick to jump to conclusions really based on things we don't necessarily understand. And it calls for us to be more empathetic towards people, to be more understanding towards things that are different than what we're used to. And this character, Dwight Carey, is very different from the rest of the town. The rest of the town is very fundamental, radical, right-wing, conservative, and it's nothing against right-wing or left-wing or what have you. But just think of the most narrow-minded people that you know in your life. This town is full of them, this fictional town of Freedom. And so the story really is about how this town turns against him so quickly, a guy who's lived there his whole life. And the main character, Ben Bailey, who is a defense attorney, he struggled his whole life to fit into this community. And he wants to fit in so badly, but he knows Dwight's innocent, and he has to make a decision to help his friend and really save his life in a town where everybody is turned against him because they believe he's guilty.
So what was your inspiration behind this? Because it seems like you've had a lot put into this. There's got to be some inspiration here.
Yeah, there really is. And the whole story's fiction. It's nothing true in the story. But the character Dwight Carey was based off a man I really knew in real life who was named Dwight Barry. And the two are very similar characters. I wrote Dwight Carey's character just like I remembered Dwight Barry. And I met Dwight. He was also a longtime teacher and choir director in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. And again, the story has nothing to do with his life. But that character has this whimsical humor and this just kind of prestige, this nobility that Dwight had in real life. And he's a lot of fun, and despite all that he's going through in this novel, just like the real life Dwight, he's just a fun guy, and he still finds the positives in everything. And so Dwight and I met back in 2010 when I was working for the city of Roanoke Rapids. And Dwight and I we sang at weddings together. I would sing at weddings, and he would play the piano or the organ. It was just a really neat friendship, and really became a friend of mine. My biggest regret, Russell, is that I lost touch with him when I moved from that area. I didn't stay in touch like I wish I would have, and I will live with that regret for the rest of my life. But in 2017, we reconnected briefly, and I told him that I had figured out the story that I was going to write for my first novel, and that he was the inspiration for one of the main characters. And it's really seemed to mean a lot to him. I'm glad we reconnected because he actually passed away of lung cancer last year, so he won't ever get to read this book. That's one regret that, Russell, I'll live with for a very long time. But I hope he'd be proud of it. And again, not a true story about him, but he really inspired that character, and I hope he'd be proud.
So it seems like you got a story that's kind of challenges not just the main character, but it seems like it challenges the reader as well, which I think that makes a really interesting and powerful story there. And How's the process been like? I guess I'm getting a little technical now because I'm a future writer, author as well.
Yeah.
So getting a little technical, I guess. What was the kind of process for you? Like, where did you start? Where did the story all the way up to this point?
I sat on the beaches of Hawaii and Oahu specifically in 2015 and started penning a story. I got 100 pages in and said, I don't like this story. I scrapped it. And then I tried to write another story. I didn't feel passionate about that. And then I tried to write another story. I didn't feel passionate about that. And so here we go, 2017, I believe it was, late 17. I was here. We didn't have time to think when we were operating the Observer, so
Yeah.
I really didn't have time to write much here. But when I finally came up with a story, I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down what's my main point, where I want to get to, so the finish, and then I'll focus on the rest. And so outlining the book like that really gave me a path to get it done because I just kept writing. I didn't know where I was going. And you've heard of this thing called writer's block. I really don't believe in writer's block now because writer's block to me tells me that you have gotten to a point where you don't have anything planned moving forward. And I think if you're going to write a successful story, an successful novel, many authors may say different. I say you have to have it, you know where you're going to start. You got to know what you're trying to say, and you got to know where you're going to finish. And once you figure that out, it really becomes easier to fill in the gaps. And so that was how it ended up getting done. Because by the time I set that outline, Russell, I wrote the book from May 2018, to December, first week in January 18, and it was done. 7 months.
Yeah.
Or 8 months technically, but from start to finish, 8 months once I finally got the outline done. So if anybody out there is interested in writing, and you know this because you've written a book now that will be published, you just really got to know where you're going, and if you'll do that, it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, I actually had to plan mine out. I didn't I didn't go into the finer details of things, but at least I had the plot points of where I wanted the major events to happen
Right.
for it. So, and then kind of fill in as I go along. So not everything I know is coming up, but some of it is a little bit surprising. So, that's really interesting. So when can we get this book in our hands?
Yeah, so it actually will release on July the 12th.
July 12th.
And it's available for pre-order on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, now or later tonight is what I've been told. So hopefully that proves true, but we'll see. But it will be available wherever books are sold, and particularly Amazon and Barnes & Noble, because they're the big ones. But wherever books are sold, you can get it. And so I hope people will enjoy the story. You pointed out something earlier, Russell. It is a story that has a meaning, and it does challenge some points that are, well, quite frankly, pretty contentious in the South and rural America and where I grew up, and perhaps where you grew up. I don't know, but it certainly challenges some things that will be contentious points. And what I want people to see is I want people to see past that, really. I want people to say, okay, so this book does make a point, and whether you agree or disagree with it, I hope people will still enjoy the story behind it, because it does have the elements of love. It does have the elements of crime thriller. It does also, though, have the elements that I think comprise literary fiction of merit, where this story has a point. And my point in this is whether you're a Christian or whether you are of another religion or whether you're an atheist or whatever, perhaps it is best that we consider our preconceived notions and try to be more careful when we're dealing with people who are different than us. And Dwight in this story is very different from the rest of the town, and that is why they turn on him so quickly. I mean, you could challenge the point if he were the same as the town, perhaps they wouldn't have turned against him so quickly. And as I know this whole story is fiction, but I believe that to be true. I believe in this book, if Dwight were the same as the people around him in the fictional town of Frieden, that they would not have turned against him so quickly. I believe that unequivocally. And I think we are very quick in life to judge others simply because they're different from us. I think that's unfair. And I hope the book will get people thinking, maybe I need to consider my judgments of people that are different than me and things that I'm not used to. So July 12th is when you'll get the opportunity to read this book and maybe have that experience.
And they'll be on paperback. Yeah. I heard it was even an audiobook by you as well.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. Yeah, so it'll be available hardcover, which is my preference. Paperback, which is most people's preference, I think. And it'll also be available on ebook and it'll also be available on audiobook. And I am going to be narrating the audiobook, which I think is neat for particularly first-time authors to connect with their audience. I think that's neat. I don't know that I'll do every book I write because I've already started on the second one. But I think it's really neat to connect with the authors. And I know these characters so well, and I wanted to give it a go.
That's awesome. So, Lance, thank you for coming on here, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. I'm going to definitely pre-order it. Also, one other thing, I know you said, I think on Good Morning Sand Hills this morning about going to the Leaf Memorial Library here in downtown Rockingham.
Oh, yes.
Tell us a little about that.
My gosh, yeah, I was having so much fun, I almost forgot. Just today we've announced that at the Leaf Memorial Library here in downtown Rockingham is going to be my very first event on, I guess you can call it a book tour, but it'll be July 15th, so just 3 days after the book comes out to the general public. July 15th, that's a Monday, and it'll be 4 to 6 o'clock p.m. at Leaf Memorial Library. Deborah Knight, who has been a frequent guest on Live at 5, one of the first, matter of fact, she may have, no, Joey Bennett was the first guest.
Yeah. I think she might have been second.
That's right. If she was second, third, somewhere right in there, I remember. But Deborah reached out to me right when I made the announcement about the date and the cover reveal, and so I was super excited to announce this morning, and of course again on this show tonight, that it'll be Monday, July the 15th. It'll be a meet the author / book signing event. Very informal. I hope everybody comes out and has a great time. And I will sign your book. And if you don't have a copy, you will be able to get hardcover and paperback copies there.
All right, Lance Jenkins, everybody. When we come back, we've got more news for Live at 5, and weather will be up later on in the show. Stay tuned.
Hometown heroes? Well, maybe. When it comes to backyard comfort and no pesky mosquitoes, call Brown Termite and Pest Control at 910-895-6410 or 910-276-8870. Their team of superheroes can take back control of your paradise. That's 910-895-6410 today.
At Richmond Community College, we can prepare you for a high-skill, high-paying career in a variety of fields. We are always developing new courses and programs in response to the communities we serve. We offer day, evening, and online courses, and you can now complete 7 curricular programs entirely online, including our university transfer degree. At Richmond Community College, we believe in helping you prepare for a better life. Richmond Community College, local college, big impact.
Welcome back to Live at 5. I'm Sarah Minks. A man is facing an attempted murder charge after allegedly setting fire to an occupied home. When the East Rockingham Fire Department responded Sunday to the scene on Stokes Road south of Rockingham, the fire was already out, according to Deputy Chief Bill Bayless. Bayless said it appeared the fire was started on the outside on the porch and it went up the vinyl siding, causing damage to the exterior of the home. He added that it was his understanding that the resident extinguished the fire with a garden hose. According to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, the suspect, 34-year-old Kenneth Gerald Allen of Green Barrel Lane, was caught on a home surveillance system starting the fire. Allen was arrested Tuesday and charged with 1 felony count each of arson and attempted first-degree murder. He was booked into the Richmond County Jail under a $200,000 secured bond and is scheduled to appear in court on July 10th. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office has filed multiple drug charges against a woman who allegedly sold methamphetamine near a school. According to warrants, 53-year-old Ernestine Home Lamans sold 0.7 grams of meth to a confidential informant on April 8th. She's also accused of selling 0.5 grams of meth to the informant on April 12th. Lamans was allegedly using a blue and white trailer on Church Street in Cordova to store and sell the drug. That trailer is within 1,000 feet of Cordova Middle School. Lamans was arrested June 13th and charged with 2 felony counts each of selling, delivering, and possession with intent to sell or deliver a Schedule II controlled substance, maintaining a vehicle, dwelling, or place with a controlled substance, as well as similar charges within 1,000 feet of a school. She was booked into the Richmond County Jail under a $50,000 secure bond and scheduled to appear in court June 27th. The Girl Scouts of North Carolina Coastal Pines announced that Kalea Little of Rockingham is the Richmond County top seller of the 2019 Girl Scout Cookie Program. Little sold over 1,600 boxes of Girl Scout cookies in the annual cookie program, Harris Lockhart of Rockingham placed second with 1,300 boxes sold, and Noriah McLaughlin of Rockingham placed third with 1,200 boxes sold. For more information on the Girl Scout Cookie Program, you can visit ncccoastalpines.org. When we return, we've got your Live at 5 weather report. It's coming up right after the break, so stay tuned.
McNair Auto Sales is the place to buy your pre-owned car, truck, or van. To be the best, it takes big selection, friendly staff, and great pricing. We guarantee a no-hassle buying experience, and financing is available right on site. So come see us today. We're located at 1026 East Broad Avenue in Rockingham. And remember, with over 40 years of experience, you know McNair is the name you can trust.
At Richmond County Hospice, we strive to provide high-quality care to our patients and their families. Whether it's the incredible hospitality at the Haven House or from the comfort of your own home, you can count on Hospice to be there for you. We also offer monthly grief support groups, and our chaplain will be there to hold your hand in prayer. Through our amazing staff and our volunteers, Hospice has made difficult times easier for our community. Call the number on your screen if you feel that you or your loved one may benefit from our services. Richmond County Hospice. Peace, comfort, dignity.
Welcome to your Live at 5 weather report, brought to you by Medical Center and Pharmacy. Let's take a look outside on our office cam. We've got partly cloudy skies. It's been a little shady out there today, but it's been really hot, a little bit humid. It's a lot of mixture there. You don't want to be wearing long sleeves like I am right now. You want to be wearing some short sleeves, unless you like this weather so much that you got to wear them. But anyways, going into tomorrow for the weather map, we've got a lot of thunderstorms coming up. So the sunshine is going to be around for just a little bit today. Tomorrow we got thunderstorms coming in. 50% chance across the whole Sand Hills region. Starting over in Fayetteville with a high 87, low of 74. Lumberton down here with also at 87, 74. So we move over to parts like Rayford, where it's about 87 as well, with a low of 72. So they're keeping around the mid to high 80s as we look over here in Rockingham with a high 86, a low of 71. Waysboro with a high 84, low of 72. And of course the low to mid 70s are in there. So not a lot of difference in the temperature. It's going to be hot. It's going to be still really drizzly, and thunder and lightning. It's going to be a mess tomorrow. But as we get into a 7-day forecast, there is some sunshine coming up. But before we get to Friday, let's talk a little bit more about Wednesday. Again, 50% chance of rain from morning all the way through evening. Same for Thursday with a high of 91 and a low of 71. We're getting back into the 90s again. As we get into Friday, it'll be a high of 91, a low of 69. Beautiful sunny day, no clouds in the sky for that day. But as we get into Saturday, we got a little bit of rain coming back as a 30% chance throughout the day and the evening with a high of 93 and a low of 73. We're going to take another break on Sunday with some clouds and some sunshine at a high of 94 and a low of 72. Then Monday and Tuesday we'll get back to those days again. More thunderstorms. 30% chance in the day, but no chance in the evening. But Tuesday we've got thunderstorms. I think we can guarantee thunderstorms are going to be happening throughout the day on Tuesday with a high of 93 and a low of 72. So thunderstorm, sunshine, clouds, we got it all except for the snow, but we should not be expecting that at all during the months of June and July. So anyways, that's it for your Live at 5 weather report. When we return, we've got your RO Sports update on the way, and it's up right after the break, so stay tuned.
Tree Antiques and Gifts is an occasional shop located at 122 South Hancock Street in Rockingham. We are open the first weekend of each month, Thursday through Saturday. We strive to offer a unique selection of vintage, antique, handmade, and new goods. If you are looking for something out of the ordinary, then we're the place for you. Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is passionate about helping you make your home or office space unique. We would love to see you during our next occasional shop dates.
Richmond Senior High School girls head basketball coach Teddy Mosley got the first Live look at his 2019-2020 team over the weekend. Like the Richmond boys basketball team, the Lady Raiders headed west and played in the Powerade State Games at A.L. Brown High School and Kannapolis Middle School. Using a mixture of returning starters and rising varsity players, Richmond posted a 1-2 record in the two-day tournament. As he prepares for his second year at the helm of the Lady Raiders program, Mosley looked past the win and 2 losses to see where his team stands as it prepares for the regular season this winter. Playing in a 4-team pool play bracket against Hopewell, North Buckham, and Wakefield High Schools, the Lady Raiders opened with a 52-38 loss to Hopewell, which would eventually win the PSG title. The Lady Raiders' lone win came in Game 2, a 47-44 edging of North Buckham, which saw Love sound off to 27 points. The Lady Raiders will be back on the court on Friday, June 28th, when they compete in a summer jamboree hosted by Union Pines High School in Moore County. It's been an up and down first 2 softball seasons for Mackenzie Ward at William Peace University, but one thing that remained consistent for the Rockingham native this school year was her performance in the classroom. On Friday, the rising junior pitcher was named to the 2018-19 U.S. South Conference Academic All-Conference team. She was one of 50 WPU student athletes to make the list, having earned at least a 3.3 GPA each semester. During her fall semester, Ward, an elementary education major, earned a 3.60 GPA and followed up during the spring with a 3.40 GPA. She was one of 8 Pacers softball players to be named. Ward has also found success on the softball field for William Peace, but she saw her sophomore campaign interrupted by 2 major issues. Despite the injuries, Ward has still been upbeat and posted a picture to social media smiling in the hospital following her ACL surgery in May. Although her timeline of making a return is still not pinned down to an exact date, Ward is already making big plans to close out her final 2 years at William Peace. And that's going to do it for another edition of Live at 5. Be sure to stay up to date on all the latest in Richmond County by going to richmondobserver.com or by downloading the free RO app for your mobile devices. For the Live at 5 crew, I'm Sarah Minks. Thanks for watching and good night, Richmond County.